Yeah, don't worry. I'll behave myself. Don't worry. I'm just going to sit outside in the sun. Just going to sit out here. No worries. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your service. Yes, he's clutching a can of Foster's. Needs must in this time, this unprecedented time of, social crisis, global pandemic, and fuck all in the shops. So yes, I have a can of Foster's. I've already drunk another bottle of Prosecco. I may not have COVID-19, but my liver is shot to hell. Then again, let's be honest, my liver, it never stood a chance anyway. The amount of whiskey I've thrown down my neck in the last few years. So folks, how are you all? Hope you're doing very well. Hope you're coping with this isolation and profound weirdness. I am now taking advantage of, the sun. The sun is out and it's reasonably warm, and I'm dressed up. Why, Kilt-Man, are you dressed up? Why have you got that lovely carnation and that lovely suit jacket? Well, because we're going to discuss a mask. Yes, it's the mask that I opened the other day in that big triple whammy unboxing. And I said there was a theme, did I not? And in the last video I showed you the Leatherface NECA Ultimate figure, the 7-inch Ultimate Leatherface. Awesomeness. And today we're going to discuss the mask. The Leatherface mask from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Part 2. I don't know if you heard that then, but a bird the size of a vulture just flew over my head and landed on yes, that conservatory roof. And a vulture landing on that roof could be catastrophic. Now guys, I hope you can put up with this, I hope you can see this quite well. The sun is dipping in and out of a few skittery clouds, so it's going to get bright, then it'll get dark, then it'll get bright, then it'll get dark. But bear with me folks, bear with me. Because I thought the sound of like bird chatter and people doing DIY drills and stuff, possibly chainsaws, would add a little ambience, to the, this video, which I'm about to show you. This mask I'm about to show you. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. It came out 14 years after the original and the best. Tobe Hooper's 1974 absolute gut-churning masterpiece of horror and suspense and thrills, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it took him a hell of a long time to return to his roots. He was in the middle of a 3-picture deal with Cannon Films. Yes, Golden Globus and Cannon Movies. Chuck Norris! Yes. And he had just done Life Force, which I absolutely adore. Fantastic film. It is cheesy as fuck, but it's absolutely awesome. And it failed dismally. He then did his remake of Invaders from Mars, the 1953, cult classic. And that failed even more. That was a real dismal failure. So he couldn't get out of that deal though. So Golden Globus and Cannon Films said to him, look, you've got one thing left. Come on, go back to your roots. Go back to the gut grinding stuff of Texas Chainsaw. So him and LM Kit Carson cobbled together a script and made Part 2, which is awesome. So awesome in fact that I might dedicate an entire video to reviewing the movie, because you know what I'm like. I'm going to show you the mask, but I'm going to be talking about the film at length as well. But really speaking, I should devote a video to it specifically. But a bit of background to it anyway. In the original movie, Gunnar Hansen plays Leatherface. In Part 2, it's a guy not quite as big, but he's still intimidating, called Bill Johnson. And Bill Johnson wields one hell of a big chainsaw. If he's compensating, and in the course of the story, Leatherface does become a little bit of a, his hormones are taken over. Don't forget, this is a troubled youth, Bubba, as he's known, in the Sawyer clan. And he finds love in the form of the poor, beleaguered Stretch. Stretch, who runs a DJ Radio Shack, and she has the sorry misfortune of having heard and recorded the grisly demise of 2 yuppies on a bridge, 2 college prep bastards, drunk and playing chicken with other cars, who then played chicken with the wrong people. The Sawyer clan in their big van, and Leatherface with his chainsaw, who carves them all up, but she records that. So then Lefty Enright, played by Dennis Hopper, the great Dennis Hopper. That's where all the budget went on this movie. Dennis Hopper stars as this former Texas Ranger who's the uncle of Sally and Franklin Hardesty from the first movie. Franklin, who's in the wheelchair, who gets carved up. Sally, who escapes at the end. Wow, what's left of her? You know, what's her mind will be destroyed. And he wants revenge, so he realises, I can use Stretch as bait. If she plays that again, they'll come to get her, and I'll be waiting for them. And therein lies the hook, the meat hook for that story. And Tobe Hooper's new vision was an absolute riotous OTT, grand guignol piss take of the entire horror genre and the entire flavour of the growth of yuppiedom and Reaganomics. It was the go-getting, you know, I'll eat you and all of your cohorts so long as I move up the ladder. That's what it was all about. So the Sawyer clan now, they're selling their prized, you know, chili, and they're winning every award going. The secret's in the meat. Jim Seidow, the cook from the first film, returns. He's the only returning cast member in this movie from the original, and he's outstanding. He's a pure comedy genius. And you've got Leatherface, obviously, and you've got Chop Top. Chop Top is the Nam veteran. He's got a plate in his head. He's severely deranged, and he won't shut the fuck up either. He might wear hippie gear, and he wears, like, you know, sunglasses and all this sort of flower power shit, like. But he has a coat hanger which he heats up and then scratches away the meat around the plate in his head and then eats it. Oh, Jesus Christ. The gore is off the scale, and that's the point. The point that the first movie was a model of restraint. Yes, you saw people on meat hooks, you saw people getting chainsawed, you saw people getting hammered to death. Yes, or rather, you thought you did, because the whole point of the first movie is it implies a hell of a lot. There's very little blood shown on screen, and that's the genius of that movie. But of course, it spawned such controversy and infamy. Censors hated it around the world, and you know, it spawned gore cinema and torture porn. All have their roots in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And of course, during the 80s, the video nasty craze and all that, everything was gorier, bloodier, more violent, more explicit. Tobe Hooper thought, well, okay, you've been blaming my film for this, and my film showed nothing. Okay, I'm going to take the piss out of the establishment. I'm going to take the piss out of the Gordon Gekko Reaganomic attitude. Take the piss out of yuppies and the fact that the small businessman is getting shafted left, right and centre by big commerce. And I'm going to show you what you think you wanted. I'm going to show you massive unpleasantness and unparalleled gore and violence. And he does. And it's that juggling act of, you know, black humour, splatstick humour, and all-out violence and gore. And for me, it works. At the time of its release, the critics hated it. Hardcore horror fans hated it. You know, everyone, fans of the original film hated it as well. It couldn't find its market. It struggled, and you know, such is life. But in later years, the advent of home video, it gained its cult following, it gained its mass appeal, and it's now recognised as, you know, the second best in the entire fucking Chainsaw, you know, franchise, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's brilliant. It's so funny. It's so clever. It's so nasty. Kilt-Man, shut up and show us the mask. Okay, I'm gonna do it for you. Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, god damn it. Now, this is made by Trick or Treat Studios. You know, as the overwhelming majority of the masks I show you are made by Trick or Treat Studios. Now, this was designed by Tom Savini. Tom Savini, of course, is the godfather of gore. He shot to fame with George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. You know, he's one of the guys, exit wounds and chunks of flesh, stretching latex, technical gore. You know, he would then go on to Friday the 13th, The Burning, The Prowler, aka Rosemary's Killer, Maniac. Oh my god, you know, the list of his gore-drenched classics is just to die for, you know. And he's still busy. The guy is still you know, a consultant on gory effects, and he came up with this for Leatherface. This is an absolutely outstanding mask, folks. A full head mask, as you can see. The hair, the unruly, riotous hair, which is totally accurate to what you see in the movie, is actually stitched in. I'll just show you. It's stitched in. Look at that. It is in strips. It's in layers, as you can see there. I hope you can see it with the sunlight and all that. It's been I was trying to evoke some Texan sunlight, you know. And the hair is a mass of black curls, which is what it is in the movie. But I also noticed, while we're on the subject of hair, and I only just noticed this. I've had the mask for a few days now, as you know. There's a little shaft. I don't know if you can see there. Ah, that sun. That could be a right pain. Suddenly, Kilt-Man begins to realise, the disadvantages of filming outside. Hopefully, you can see. Hold that back. There is a strand of hair there, which is actually more similar to my hair colour. To the point where I only noticed it before when I put the mask on myself, just to try it out, And I thought, oh, my hair's poking through, and it wasn't. It was that. So there's actually a little strand of different colour in there, which I like. In the film, I've never noticed it, and in the film as well, you might never have noticed. If you look around the neck and throat area, look at what old Bubba Leatherface has done. This guy's a genius when it comes to stitching faces together. Look at it. Starting around here, you have an eye and a nose, another nose, 2 ears all stitched in, a mouth, another ear. He's got a thing for ears. There's the ear there. Look at the face. Look at the desiccated, ripped up flesh. Look at that. Look at the horrible, horrible teeth. Actually, what I will say, while I've pointed the teeth out, the one thing about the mask, which is so thoroughly detailed and so exquisite in such a macabre way, is I'm not that fussed on the gums and the teeth. I mean, they do look like that in the film, but it looks a little bit more fake on the mask itself. I don't know if you can see what I mean. Probably not in this light, but they're a bit too yellow, a bit too bright, and it's a bit, the gums are a bit fake looking, but I don't know. I think people like Ghoulish Productions would possibly have finished that off a bit better. By the way, this is sculpted by the great Justin Mabry. Yes, Justin Mabry. Come on now. And any little complaints I'm making, it's just observations. They're not really complaints, they're observations, folks. You've got this pugilist's nose. It's like a pig's snout. That is so beaten up, bashed in. If you look on this side as well, let's get this right, see if you can see this. On the side of his face there is another face. There's an eye and there's a nose. And if you look as well, something I never noticed in the movie, you've got some whiskers. There's it's just stray whiskers. Are they eyebrows? Are they genuinely, some kind of moustache? What are they? But they're part of the face. It's just unbelievably detailed. The stitching is wonderful, evoking of like just pure leather, or is it sinew? Possibly sinew has been used to stitch together the various parts of the face. And the stitching and the scarage. Frankenstein's monster was never like this. But look at it, it is absolutely tremendous. Let's have a little look inside, see if there's any markings. Yeah, 65. We have the number 65 there. 65, folks. There are many Leatherface masks on the market, and there's a great many Leatherface friggin' movies, so it's not a surprise. But by far, I think this one's the best. For me, I found him scarier in this movie, or more visually upsetting and scarier in this movie than in any of the others. And I include in that, you know, the remakes and the prequels and all that kind of stuff, where they lose the satiric edge which Tobe Hooper had in the first two movies, the original two movies, especially this one, Texas 2. They go for a more grim and relentless, brutal approach, they go for a more realistic approach, you know, and yeah, I can see how that's the avenue to go down, because you've already done the satirical edge. Why else would you bother? But I was never that bothered by Leatherface in any of them. In this one and the first one, yeah, I was. And he looks more incredibly brutal and barbaric in this. And as I say, he wields a much bigger chainsaw as well, and he does use it as a... This is the thing that Tobe Hooper was saying as well. Michael Myers with his knife, Jason Voorhees with his various weaponry. All of these things were meant to be like... Women's groups were saying, it's just a male rape fantasy, you know. These films are killing women left, right and centre. They forget that men were getting killed as well quite a lot in these movies by the same weapons. And but they were making this thing about the rape fantasy of horror cinema. And so Tobe Hooper retaliated by literally going for it, because he falls in love with Stretch, played by the awesomely great scream queen Caroline Williams, who plays, you know, the radio DJ. And he does go for it, and he falls in love with it, and he does rev up his chainsaw, and between her legs, when she's stretched out, hence the name Stretch, legs akimbo, he is caressing her thighs, and it's a very grimly provocative and titillating sequence. Very, oh dear God, no, please don't do this, and with the chainsaw. But it's Tobe Hooper saying, look, this is what you're accusing me of doing. If you want horror films, you want to be entertained by this sort of stuff, I'm going to give it to you, and let's see if you really, you know, really are entertained by it. And at the time, nobody was. And he paid the price. His original film, Texas Chainsaw 1, had a lot of trouble in Britain, especially. It was never banned outright, never was. But it just wasn't getting shown until many years later. And Texas 2, oh Jesus, that got even more problems. There wasn't a single version they could submit to the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, that was going to get past, you know, without numerous cuts. And you couldn't cut the film because you couldn't cut certain bits out of certain scenes. It would render entire sequences completely... What the hell? You couldn't show them. If it wasn't relentless murders, which the film isn't, there isn't that many killings in it, but it's protracted scenes of violence and depravity is what sets, you know, the nerves on edge. The senses, nerves are jangling. So, look at him. He's just listening. He's just taking in the afternoon air. There's a lot of birds fluttering about over there. If a bird suddenly shits on this head, I will be absolutely bloody annoyed, you know? I will personally leap up into the sky and drag the bird down and give it a stern talking to, and then let it go. But yeah, so Texas 2, it took many years before that ever saw the light of day, legally in the UK. The first version I ever saw of this was when I went to Spain, aged 17, and I bought uncut copies on VHS of Reanimator and Texas 2. And yes, they're both in Spanish, but they were bloody good quality, and they were thoroughly uncut. And the only way I could get them, and boy did I get them. Obviously now, this is a cult classic, and it's been released totally uncut. Arrow Video did a splendid, gorgeous limited edition, which I have. Numbered very low as well. I think mine's number 26. Hey, that's where your pre-orders come in, folks. So, anyway, look at him. Look at this guy. There's the actual proper ears. None of them fucking proper ears, are they? Look at him. I'm going to put it on. This is a really good fitting mask as well. Although you see me now with it, and you know I have a mountain of hair and it's all tied back right now, and I always appear to be a bit of a chubby-faced bastard. Well, I don't appear to be. I am a chubby-faced bastard, but my head's only tiny. I've got a bit of a pinhead, you know. So a lot of these masks that I get are, you know, I could spin round inside the mask and the mask wouldn't move. My head is that fucking small. But this one does fit really well. Well, it does when my hair is loose. Let's see how it goes now. Anyway, I'm going in. Smells nice. Smells meaty. my own hair's gotten away. As you can see, the eye holes are the eye holes are very, very big, very large, and it would help if you had very intimidating eyes. I haven't got intimidating eyes. My eyes are like piss holes in the snow, but it does fit very well. Your nose sits in there great. It's nice and tight, but you can still breathe. Whoa! Whoa! So guys, what do you think of that? Trick or Treats. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 Leatherface mask. Designed and sculpted by Justin Mabry, copying what Tom Savini accomplished for Tobe Hooper's movie from 1986. The hair, as I said before, is fantastic. Now, the hair, it should be messy. It should be a big, curly, complete and utter, unruly ragtaggle mess. And it should actually sit quite high up on the head. I actually don't mind the way it falls. I think it looks really good. The hair is really good quality. My dog has now discovered that there's something lurking in the corner just over here. So you might be able to see, well you could, there was a fairy torso that was just descending into this far corner. We have frogs and all sorts, and of course she has a very sort of French, you know, dietary needs. So frog's legs are possibly on the menu. But this mask again, look at these stitches. Sinew, all leather. I'm not too sure what they're meant to be, but how he does it. But look at the shape of all these parts of the face, or various faces that he puts in. You know, old Bubba, old Leatherface, he works hard at this. You know, maybe Trick or Treats should actually incorporate him and employ him, because the guy, he's been making masks for longer than they have. It's these things, it's these around here. In the movie, I don't think I ever noticed them. I've since watched the film again, and I have noticed them, but I don't think I ever really cottoned on to the fact that he had all these little extra bits around here. Oh, it's grisly, isn't it? But it's also, it's a great quality mask. It's thick. It's comfortable to wear. It fits really well. And, oh, by the way, you know, he does wear, this is what he wears in the movie, you know, a suit jacket, he has his tie and all that. Yeah, he's a bit of a dapper dude. And his carnation as well. In case you're wondering why the hell I was wearing that, like, but, look at it. I love the way you can hear, you know, hardware tools fully, you know, at work. Roxy, if you knock that can over, sorry, the dog is now cavorting around, and I've got this. Put it on there. Oh, folks, there is the official tag. Texas Chainsaw 2, Trick or Treats. As it says, sculpted by Justin Mabry, Leatherface. All your gubbins there. I think that's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful mask. And just to keep this chainsaw wielding flavour going with extra gusto, in hopefully 2 days' time, I have another arrival, something else from this movie, which you're gonna love. And oh, it's grisly, it is nasty, and you're gonna see it. It should arrive, as I say, in the next 2 days, and yes, you're definitely gonna see it. And it's official, and it's from this movie. So folks, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, Leatherface. What do you think? By far, that is my favourite of the Leatherface masks that are on the market. And I think they're pretty much all on the market. I don't think there's an incarnation of Leatherface in a mask which is not available. There is another one I intend to get, because I'm not getting all of it, because there's not that, some of them I don't even like at all. But there is one I'm going to get. I'm not saying what it is because I know its numbers are low, so I ain't saying what it is, because you know, some enterprising people watching this are going to, yeah, that's a good one, I'll place my order for that, and then I won't get it. So, shh, mum's the word. But I'm definitely going to order another one very soon, and it is a cool mask as well. It's like unusual, but shh, Kilt-Man, stop giving the game away. But yeah, what do you reckon? He is grim. He is ghoulish. And you've got a lot of cheek showing your face around here. He's got more than just cheek. He's got extra ears, noses, eyes, mouths. Look at it. Look, it's the two noses meet. They almost meet down here. Right, okay folks, that'll do for now. You guys, in this weird time, as I keep saying, please stay safe. Follow the advice. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but you know, please, for all our sakes, toe the line, and we'll all get through this together. Come through the other side, and it'll be, yes, non-stop partying, I hope. Let's drink to that. You guys stay safe. Keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and keep the chainsaw running. Let's get that buzz. Come on now, you can feel it, can't you? You can feel that buzz in the air. Or is that a bee behind me? There's definitely something buzzing around here. Right folks, as ever, it's been a pleasure. I would like to welcome aboard a few more subscribers as well. Young Chuck, you're out there. Great to hear from you, my young friend. I'm glad you're getting into the whole mask collecting thing and the whole, well, you're into horror movies anyway, as every kid should be. But great to hear from you, mate. And we are getting, the Tartan army's growing. Just little bits, you know, baby steps. We'll get there one day, we'll get there. But so long as there's all of us, that's the main thing. So tell your friends, tell everyone, tell the world that while we're in lockdown, there's nothing better to do than watch Kilt-Man videos. So there you go, Leatherface. So from me and Bubba, we're going to see you all later. It's always the small businessman who always gets it in the ass.